Absolutely. All right. All the cameras are up and running. How's everybody doing today? I've got this full Persian wallet chain made from 16 gauge 3/8 square wire stainless steel. It's a wallet chain I was working on for someone earlier. So, I'm about to finish that up. And then we'll get to work on this, on a ring for this cube. See how that goes. I've got, what have I got? The rings that I ordered for this cube to finish it are being tumbled and cleaned. You might actually be able to hear that. Hey Astrid, how you doing? You might be able to hear the tumbler going in the background. You might not, I don't know. But they are getting cleaned. I've got a big bin of them over there. I've got a bunch of them drying off right now, and I've got about 2 more batches of rings to tumble and clean before I'm done. And then they will be ready to go. All right. So I'm going to tumble this, I think, as is. Right before I put on any of the end pieces. Got this cool, it's a bull keychain. So that'll go on one end, and then I'll hook a keyring on the other for the person, and then you started weaving your first gauntlet. Right on. Very cool. I have never made a gauntlet. Hey Nita, how you doing? Ron? Alright, so we'll set that aside. What is this? Looks like we got a piece started last night. So, for anyone curious, the title of the video is Sandwyrm Ringception Jelly Cube. And I'm using the sandworm weave to make these rings, and then weaving them together into a jelly cube. And I need 64 more rings. I'll leave that with that. Thank you for the hearts, I appreciate it. It's kind of in the way, isn't it? So okay. Right now, it is almost, well, it's as tall as it's going to get. And I'm hoping that as I add more rings to everything. It'll tighten up and stand up a little straighter, just like a regular jelly cube does. And so I'm not too concerned about it right now, but I was thinking about like what size ball bearings I might need to tighten everything up a little more. Or I can take all of these rings apart, remove one unit, and then put them all back together. That will tighten it up as well. So, because I do want it to stand somewhat rigid. We'll see what happens as time goes on. It looks heavy, yeah. It's, by the time it's done, it'll be 22 pounds, I think. Thank you for the follow. What happened? You caught something? You got a bug? So, and the rings I ordered for it are spring stainless, and so I'm not necessarily looking forward to that, just because that's going to be very hard on the body. But provided we don't work too hard or too long every day, then we should be okay. And we'll get all 95 rings done soon. So for anyone joining us who doesn't know who I am, my name's Sean. I run mailworks.com. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. And I make chainmail. And I make all kinds of stuff with chainmail, from bracelets and necklaces and earrings to jelly cubes, which are super fun. And then enormous, ridiculous, absurd jelly cubes. This project started out, spring is fun. Spring steel is fun to work with. I'm looking forward to it. A little bit at a time. But what I'm currently working on, really, is finishing up all of the projects in my basement. I've had them sitting, many of them, like I have completed a bunch of stuff over the course of when I started till now. But a lot of projects were started and then abandoned and have just been sitting for way too long, so I want to get those finished and out of the way. One of the hurdles to finishing some of the projects is that the manufacturer I was using no longer makes the ring, or they changed the dimensions just a hair so that when I order new rings for projects, they don't match, or they're out of stock for the ring and have been for forever. So the supplier I was using has changed hands a few times, and hopefully they get caught up and get things back to normal and bring their quality control up and everything. But a lot of these projects were just sitting around and couldn't be finished. And then I had a bunch of ring piles that I had ordered that I didn't know what to do with, which is what this project is. I ordered a bunch of these rings and I didn't know what to do with them. So I was going to make a dragon scale pine cone sculpture, but the sandworm weave I'm using wasn't quite rigid enough for that, so I went with a jelly cube, a Ringception jelly cube. And sandworm is a weave. What it is a chain of full Persian, which is, for those of you on the overhead, a chain of full Persian surrounded by what is essentially box weave, right? But the box weave, it's one unit of box weave per unit of full Persian, and none of the box weave touches any other box weave. Does that make sense? You're about to start working on a belt with Morse Rose sheet for a commission? Ooh, good luck with that. Have fun. That sounds like a good project. That should look really cool when it's done. So I had this this pile of O-rings, didn't know what to do with. Started with an idea, and then it changed into this giant jelly cube thing I'm making now. So it's for a fantasy wedding. That'll look cool. Moorish Rose is one of those weaves I have yet to conquer, to learn. I tried one time while on stream, and it did not work. I haven't tried since. And actually, I think I tried with these rings. These are 16 gauge 3/8 American wire gauge from the Ring Lord. And so I thought they would be the right aspect ratio, but I could not get it to work, and I don't remember if they were the right size. What materials are you using for the belt? Is it going to be like a stainless steel one or some anodized aluminum with pretty colors? So I've got a couple straps here I need to make into belts or guitar straps. And I've got plenty of leather working tools to do the ends of the guitar straps and for the belts and everything. I've just gotta get to it. So this, like, so these are the rings on this wallet chain is square wire. The rings are made from wire that is square, right? So if you get a close up, you can see the wire is square. And this took me all day because I had to take a lot of breaks trying to keep my wrists protected. And then the ends of the rings were twisted just slightly so they didn't meet up. And so I spent the whole day adjusting and getting everything to fit correctly, and took forever. It's either going to be brass or anodized aluminum. They were trying to figure out what they want. Right on. It's hot. That's most. Hey, Deadpool Scan, how you doing? So I'm just glad to have that project done. I was going to work on my saddlebag today, but I said I need to finish this commission first and get that out of the way. Bike's going to the shop for an oil change. I'm going to drop it off tomorrow or Saturday. And I'm going to try and have the saddlebags done by the time I'm done. We'll see. We'll see what happens. On the weekends, during the weekday, I can't get started until like 9 o'clock. That's annoying about the rings. It is. But I made it through. And then I'm going to tumble it. I'm going to put a little ceramic media in there to deburr it a little bit. And we'll see if we can get those edges out of the way. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, the bike's going to the shop for an oil change. Double check everything, make sure I don't need anything. I got an oil change in the fall, and I haven't ridden it since then. So everything should be fine. Tires seem fine. Oil levels are fine. But, you know, things could have happened over the winter while I was sitting. And then today, I was driving my truck. And when I've been braking, the rear of the truck has started to wobble. It started to twerk a little bit as I'm stopping. And today I was pressing on the brake and there was pressure coming back on the brake pedal. I was like, oh, I guess I should go get this checked out. So I called my brother-in-law. I'm going to take my truck in on Tuesday. All right. And aside from that, I had Panda Express for brunch, which is not important. You know, I'm not going to sit here and talk about most of my meals, but the reason I mention it is that I have clip-on sunglasses, and I'll tell you why I have clip-on sunglasses in a minute too. But I went to Panda Express and I left those clip-on sunglasses there, and I didn't. It was kind of cloudy, kind of rainy out today, and I didn't notice until I went and got back in the truck to go pick up my kid. I called them, and they had set them aside, which was perfect. So I went, took my kid to the book fair, went to Panda Express, got my glasses, and then came home. But the reason I have clip-on sunglasses, these lenses are transition lenses, right? And it's the first time I've ever had them. They're kind of okay. I kind of like them a little bit. But when I am driving my truck, the lenses don't transition because the light's coming through the windshield. Or if I'm inside the house and I'm looking out, and it's bright outside, the lenses don't transition. I have to be outside and sunlight has to be hitting them. And so when I'm driving, they don't transition at all, and that's imperative, especially with the migraines that I get and everything. So that's why I have clip-on sunglasses, because transition lenses don't work indoors. Hi Cordelia, how you doing? Yes, hey Tyson, you need 100,000 suits of armor for an upcoming war against the Ottoman Empire. There you go. I know. Let's see here. How many chainmail artists do I know? I know a lot. And it might take us a bit. But if we each do 200 apiece, we could probably get that order filled. That makes me think of the Hell House. The Hell House is this big house in Scotland. I think it's Scotland. I did a video on it a while back. But they have this giant... They have like a what do you call them? A carport over the top of it. But it's like huge, right? It's a house port. They park the house underneath it. And all around the edge is this giant chainmail curtain to stop the rain from coming in and make the rain drain down to the ground. And that's because the house it's a historic house, and it's been, the plaster or stucco that it's made out of was just soaking up all the water. And so they put this house port with the giant chainmail curtain over the top of it in order to give the house some time to dry out. And in the article that was posted in the chainmail groups over online, on Facebook, it said that the chainmail curtain was handmade with over 3 million rings, I think is what it was. Some absurdly large number. And all of us who congregate in chainmail themed areas on the internet were like, who put all this together? Right? Like, all the people who make chainmail are here. And so we think that it's probably machine made. I don't think that somewhere in the world there's a group of people who came together to weave 3 million rings into a giant chainmail curtain, and no one in any of the chainmail groups heard anything about it. I don't think that happened, but actually, that's a good idea, though, Tyson, if you're still here chilling. They have machines that make chainmail armor, so we should actually incorporate that into this 100,000 suits of armor order. That way we get them all done faster. Alright. So I've got the rings tumbling. Getting cleaned up. Some of them, some of them are drying off. Oh, and I made dinner tonight. I had this, like, Cajun rice, Boxo Cajun rice stuff. And I added a bunch of stuff to it and cooked some chicken and some sausage and threw it in there. And it was pretty good. Other than that, pretty uneventful day. I like uneventful days. When I was working as a nurse in hospitals, I liked uneventful shifts. They were good shifts. The exciting shifts when you're a nurse those are the bad shifts. I don't want excitement. Excuse me. So, where are we at here? We got to make this 21 units long. And we're what, halfway there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on. I missed a ring. That must have gotten flipped around. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh. Need a little 7 more units. There was in one of the chainmail groups, someone asked for a conversion chart for AWG, which is American wire gauge, over to SWG or standard wire gauge, and I posted a link to a chart, and they were like, "Oh, this is too confusing." And I looked at it. I looked at the chart, and it's like all the conversions are lined up, right? 10 to 12, 12 to 14, 14 to 16, with their millimeter and inch measurements in there. And I was like, what is going on that this is confusing? And I was thinking about it because I want to put a conversion chart in the Mailworks app for AWG to SWG. And I think I need to make it say, 14 gauge or 12 gauge converts, 12 gauge AWG converts to 14 gauge SWG or whatever it is, right? With the millimeters and inch measurements listed underneath. I think that was the missing link. I don't know. I will find out. Someone's banging around upstairs like they're trying to tear my house apart. There's a fun thing. Was down here working this morning, went upstairs, and the corgi puppy got a hold of the carpet again. And he's in a pen, and he moved the pen over to the carpet edge and was chewing on it, tearing it up. He's already put 2 other holes in this carpet. So, I've given up on worrying about it. I just need to get him to stop. So that's the goal. It's like, you can't come out of the pen if you can't stop digging up my carpet, right? And he gets exercise, and he's taken outside, and he has toys, and he's fed, right? But he's just, I don't know if he's being obstinate or what. So that was fun to walk upstairs and see a big old patch out of my carpet in the living room. But this house is, how old is this house? 20 years old. And it doesn't need new carpet. but it wouldn't hurt if it got some. So, is that what you're looking for? Bob had a growth spurt. Bob had almost 4,000 rings added. Over 4,000 rings added. He is now 15 units or 15 rows by 15 rows by 15 rows in size. And I've got the rest of the rings to get him up to 20 by 20 by 20. It's going to take 33 more ounces. So I'm almost halfway. This is, what was this? This and what I have on hand are 26 ounces, I think. I better make sure I get that right. So next month, I'll order the rest of the rings. I won't be able to get to them for a while, but more than 5 people joined when you pulled out Bob. Yeah, it's, it's my most viral video is me just holding a jelly cube and making it twerk. They're fun. I'm not going to lie. Right? I wish I could make one for everyone, but I've got one more large cube that's, I think I'll have enough rings to make it out to 18 rows on each side. So we'll see. And I think I'm going to raffle that off. I don't know. Because it's such a large cube, it's a ton of work, and I don't know if I could fill enough raffle slots to warrant raffling it off. You want me to give it to you? If you buy all of the raffle slots, then it's yours. But I don't know. I haven't priced it out and figured out what I'd be willing to raffle it off for. Right? Because if you do, like, and I'm just, don't go after me on the math. Right? But is it easier to sell 100 raffle tickets at $10 or 10 raffle tickets at $100? You know what I mean? I would imagine it'd be easier to sell at $10. I don't know. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20... excuse me, 21. So, I do not know Protocol 3. Yeah. What is Protocol 3? Is that a Fallout reference? Sounds like it would be a video game reference of some kind. I'm not cool to know hip internet trends. Protect the Pilot, it's a Titanfall 2 thing. Titanfall 2 is a video game, right? Like I am. That is a thing, right? I've gone on and on about I would love to sit and play video games, but then I feel like I'm not working, and then I feel bad. And then I come down here and I just work on stuff. So, Protect the Pilot. What is that? What's the deal with that? You asked me if I knew it. Right, so what are you going for with that question? Or, since I don't know it, does it not matter? Okay. Almost done with this, and then we can start adding the box on the outside. Oh, you have to play Titanfall? Okay. Nope, that's fair. So I had an Xbox. I have an Xbox 360, PS2, 3, 4, and 5. And I like on the Xbox. The last game I played was Fable 3. If they come out with a Fable 4, like I have a PS5 that I don't play. I bought it to play games on. I don't play it. If they come out with a Fable 4, I will buy whatever platform it comes out on for Xbox. I don't think they're going to. They've been teasing it for years. If I do play Titanfall, do it live. Okay. What was the last game I played live? I think I tried playing... What was I playing? Not Minecraft. What's the other little kid game that comes with your PlayStations? You thought Farscape with the living ship Moya? It's not Minecraft. It's first-person shooter that all the little kids play. I do not know BT 7274. Sorry. Fortnite. Fortnite. That's the game I'm thinking of. That was the last game I played live where there were other people playing and everything, and I sucked. I'm not gonna lie. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Sorry. I feel like a disappointment now that I didn't know all these references you're asking me. But that's pretty par for the course. If you ask me about the Fortnite's not a first-person shooter, what do you call it then? Third person? That's how bad I am. It's third? Okay. If you ask me about trendy things that were around when I was growing up, I don't know too many of them. Couldn't tell you anything about the music or who the bands were. I know some of them now, right? But I grew up listening to music from the 60s and 70s with my dad, and then Weird Al Yankovic was my first CD. And if you don't know what a CD is, ask an elder person in your family. Can I make you something? It depends on what it is. How you doing, Dylan? What are you looking to have made? Typically when people ask if I can make them something, I do have stuff made for sale, right? None of it's in reach right now. But I do have stuff that is completed, and I need to make a bunch of videos of it. You have a Titanfall 2 CD? Nice. But usually when someone asks me to make something, I will either accept, or I will point them in the direction of someone who I know can take their request. So, ask away. I got a couple dice bags I'm finishing up. I've got a bunch of bracelets that are done. What else? I'm trying to think of what else I have over there. It's mostly bracelets. I finished up a big batch of them not long ago. Haven't gotten to the necklaces yet, but in fact, I need to sit down and figure out. You're going to get on VR, but staying alive? Right on. I need to figure out what rings I got to order for these necklaces I have to make, and then I need to figure out what rings I'm missing, because I actually need to put in an order here probably in the next week, because I need to start getting all this stuff done in May, all the rest of my jewelry. That's my goal. Speaking of VRs, my child's VR has a drift in the controllers. He was complaining about it, asking me for new controllers the other day, and they're like $75 on the Meta website and $130 on Amazon or something. Some ridiculously priced controllers. But you can send your stuff into Meta to be refurbished. And so I need to remember to try and figure all that out tomorrow for him. Because he likes his VR. I don't care for his VR, because all I get, I think it's funny to watch my kid like fight. You know, it looks like he's got his eyes closed, but he's got the screen on his face, and the you know, I hear a lot of screaming. And, you know, he's having fun, but I largely find it annoying just because of how loud he gets when he plays. So, WD-40 works too. Try to put alcohol on a Q-tip and rub it around the joystick. I should try some home repairs first, right? Before I start sending it off. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow as well. Want to do that. Then I gotta mow my lawn. What are yeeps? Hey Rat, how you doing? Good to see you. I mean, I can tell him to get whatever, but he's not. I would have to get it for him. Or is that a game? It's a game on VR? I gotcha. You've been busy with theater stuff. Right on. Like set making or lighting or makeup or practice for your performance. Yeeps, yeah, okay. Yeeps is a game and is free. Alright. I'll check it out. I once sat and watched people practice Music Man. And my mother was part of the backstage crew for one of her college classes. And I got to sit and watched them practice Music Man over and over and over again for several weeks. And then we went to the performance and sat... no, we went to the performance and we got to go backstage, and we were just kind of in the way. Your costumes. You made some chainmail for it? Right on. Is this a hobby of yours or is it a full-time job? Yes. So my full-time job is my website, and the stuff I make is mostly hobby related. I do sell some of it, but that is the website, and this fund my projects for me sitting here streaming, working on stuff. And I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories, and that is my job, so that I can fund making chainmail. Many folks neglect basic care of controllers, and some need monthly cleaning to prevent over wear and tear. Yeah, and I can tell you right now that my son's never cleaned his controllers, so... Yeah. That is definitely something I should take a look at cleaning up before I get him anything else. So Dylan, I'm usually down here, let's see here, 5 hours, let's see. I get down here about 9 o'clock in the morning, and from 9 to 3, I'm down here working. I do stop to take a lunch, so, excuse me. Sometimes I take a nap. Lunch is hour and a half, so I'm down here for 4.5 to 5 hours in the mornings. And then it's go pick up the kid, do homework, go to practice or whatever, eat dinner, come home, whatever we're doing. And then I'm back down here. I got down here a little late tonight. I'm usually down here around 7 again, and then from 7 to 10. So I'm down here weaving. And then on the weekends, I'm down here pretty much all day. Unless we've got family stuff to do. Working on stuff. So, but now that it's not winter time, I can start doing outside stuff. Like mowing lawns. So I've got a lot of... got a lot of stuff I got to do outside. Aside from the lawn, I need to make a couple of garden beds. So I want to have those done soon. I don't think it would take me more than a day to make 3 or 4 garden beds. The issue is once they're made, I would have to fill them up with dirt. And we can get dirt from our... It's a local city area where you can go and dump your grass if you don't mulch it or throw tree branches and stuff. They have a couple of dirt piles there. But the last time I did that, I filled a empty trash can half full and just trying to get a half full trash can full of dirt down to the back of my yard where the garden beds are nearly killed me. So, making the garden beds isn't the issue. It's getting all the dirt down there. And our garden beds have to be fairly large. We don't do the little 1.5 foot off the ground thing. You know, no bending over. So I want 3 to 3.5 feet high garden beds. Do they need to be filled with dirt? Seen folks using rock or building a bottom so it's not all dirt. Well, they need to be filled with something, right? And the most plentiful thing that we have available that's somewhat cost effective is dirt. So need to build at least one. Get it filled up with dirt. I want 4. And so but one to start with, and I want it done this year. Then I've got a shed, and animals can get under the shed, so I've got to fill that in somehow. That's another outdoor project I got to make. And then I need a table inside my shed for a vise and for like a workbench. So all my woodworking tools are down in the shed because I can't use them in the garage because the garage is full. So I got to keep them down there. And like my tables. Okay, there's 2 vehicles in the garage that prevent me from using the garage and some stuff in storage. So we got the shed, threw a bunch of stuff in there, but it's mostly filled up with a large lawnmower. So I can kind of use it. I can kind of store some stuff there. And my table saw and my miter saw are down there. So I just threw all the rest of my woodworking tools down there in the shed and called it a day. It's like, I'll just make this work somehow. So I want to build a table inside the shed, and then like a lean-to kind of thing on the side for when I pull the table saw out, and I can have shade and something to work under. And I don't know what all else I have to do outside. I need to pressure wash the house, and there's some drainage issues coming off the roof that I need to fix, but that's something I want to hire someone for. I don't want to be climbing around on my roof. My neighbor said that it's good for everyone to take a fall off the roof at least once, and I don't think I agree. So, because he said he fell off the roof once, and like he's a nice guy, but he's a little off. Was it the fall from the top of the roof? I don't know. So we'll see. But yeah, pressure wash the house and pressure wash the driveway. I've got a, what do you call it? It's a drainage area behind the house, behind the fence. And it's kind of mucked up with dirt. There's a tree back there, or a stump I should say, that needs to be burned out. So I want to go and rent. It's a tiny little Bobcat deal, but the last time I was at the rental place, it was not working, so a lot of stuff to do outside. It's going to compete with getting projects done, but none of it's an emergency. None of the projects are an emergency. Doesn't matter if I get them done. I want to get all the basement stuff done this year, right? But if it doesn't happen because I'm busy doing other things, then, so be it. Excuse me. I'm just glad that it's warmed up. Oh, and riding the motorcycle is also going to take away from time worked on projects, so. Especially once I get those saddlebags on there. I want to go show them off. So I did, okay, so the way the saddlebag is attached to the Road King, right? It's just this little screw pin thing. And I guess they come off a lot. I've never had a problem. But you know how you hear about something and then it happens to you? Excuse me. You hear about something or you say something out loud and then it happens to you. It like manifests, right? What's up, Yeetus? Thanks for the heart. Appreciate it. Well, I heard someone talking about those pins coming out and people losing their bags down the highway. I think that they probably just weren't closed all the way because I've never had an issue, knock on wood, right? But I did go and get some threaded mounts, and they've got these bolts with knobs to replace the swivel pins, I guess they are. And so I gotta put those on the bike, but I want to replace it. I want to replace the bolt that mounts the saddlebags to the frame of the Road King with like the rounded bolts that don't take a standard screwdriver or a Phillips head. And then put a nut on the back of it and just tighten it down as much as I can. Because with chainmail over the top of my saddlebag, I don't want someone to open up the bag, pop the knobs, or pop the bolts out, and run away with my bags, right? So, pack some rings so you can weave them when stuck under an overpass waiting for the rain to stop. Just keep some rings and some pliers in the toolkit. It's not a terrible idea. I don't know if I have a pair of pliers in there, actually. I just get bored while I'm riding, and I pull out the pliers and rings and start weaving some chainmail while I'm riding the bike. I wouldn't do that. That's a terrible idea. Okay. All right. So for anyone who's been hanging out, you can see like the stages of these two chains are different. This is the full Persian core, and then this is where we've added box to the outside, right? And it makes for two very different looking weaves. Or anyone on the overhead. All right. I think I was starting to go through my head about these projects that I'm working on and how ambitious they are to have them all done by the end of the year. Because I started the saddlebag project in December. And it was mostly done. Like, all the chainmail was pretty much done. I had to make a few adjustments. New level unlocked, sidecar mail making. All mail is made at 100 miles an hour. I thought about getting a sidecar. That'd be fun. And motorcycles are not great unless everybody rides in the family. They're not like great family toys. Like, I got my kid a go-kart last year, and he's had a lot of fun with it, but he's so big as a child that he's already squished up with his knees to his chest in it. And it's like, I would love to take him out somewhere where he could have ridden it a little more than just in the backyard and down the sidewalk, but there's not too many areas around here that allow you to do that, and the ones that are several hours away, so I don't know what to get him next, because the go-kart is about as big of a play vehicle that you can use in the backyard that we have. It's like a third of an acre or something, this lot. So it's not huge. if I got him a four-wheeler or a motorcycle, right, he could ride it in the backyard, but he wouldn't be able to go very fast or anything. And then when we do want to take it out and use it, he'd be the only one with a four-wheeler, you know, or a off-road bike. So it's like I thought there was a slingshot at the bike shop that we went to the other day. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. And my son thought that was the coolest. And I don't disagree. I think they're cool. And that's more of a family thing. Sidecar is more of a family thing than a regular motorcycle. So I'd like to get four-wheelers and a trailer for the whole family and everything, but four-wheelers, the way they are now, they're priced so ridiculous. And then if you try to buy one used, right, people want brand new prices for them. It's like, no. I've seen what people put these things through. VR drone to his headset and make a course to race him through the backyard? Yeah. That's not a bad idea. We signed him up for a camp this summer to go do beginner steps on how to make VR games, I think is what he picked. There were three or four little camps he could attend, just day camps. And one was the VR, learn how to make a VR game. One was learn how to make a game in Roblox. And then the third one was learn how to make a battle bot. And I was like, yeah, that's the one you should go do. But I wasn't asked. And so he chose how to go make a VR headset. Or a game for a VR headset, so whatever. It's cool. He'll go, he'll have fun. That's kind of his birthday present this year, because his birthday's at August, right? So last year, I think, I got him a bicycle and a go-kart. And it's like, okay, you're getting your birthday present early. Like, we still threw a birthday party for him and everything. But I didn't want to give him the last time we got him a bike, we gave it to him for his birthday. It was like summer. No. It was summertime. We got it to him for his birthday, but it was at the end of the summer, right? And he was like 4 or something. And it was a little kid bike. Little kid bike. And you had the training wheels on there, and he was going up and down the sidewalk for like 2 months, and then it got cold, and the bike sat in the garage. It was kind of in the way. How you doing, Louie? Good to see ya. And when the next year came around, he'd grown a foot, outgrown the bike, and it was several more years until we finally got him a new one. And so this time around, I was like, all right, I'm going to buy him a bike for his birthday, but we're going to give it to him at the beginning of the summer just so he doesn't have that same thing happen. So he got bored last summer. I tried to teach him how to ride. His mom tried to teach him. And then one day he just went out and decided that he was going to figure it out himself. You're playing Fallout 4 for the first time? Right on. Hacksmith is building an AI-controlled BattleBot. Should show him that. There we go. An AI-controlled BattleBot. Yeah, there's nothing scary about any of that AI stuff at all. Or bots or Boston Dynamics and whatever unworldly horror they released in that video that they posted earlier today. No, everything's fine, citizen. Move along. Have no worries. You have God mode on because you're horrible at video games? So, I'm terrible at video games too. So God mode is easier. Easy, medium, hard. God mode, where you're like a god. Is that how that's working? Yeah, I saw the Boston Dynamics robot that they released, and it's like it's all over at this point. I mean, we might make it as a species for a couple more years, but okay, so you're super tough when you're on God mode, and you get to one-shot your enemies. Right on. You take no damage in one hit in God mode, so it's like creative mode. Okay. Right on. Hey, you know what? I played Ninja Gaiden on Xbox 360, and I don't remember it. No, it had modes. My roommate played it on hard mode, and he said I too should play it on hard mode. And I got to the first boss at the end of the first house in that game, and I died like 1,000 times. And I was really stubborn, and I didn't want to change. I wanted to prove I was good at video games and I could figure it out. And I just died a whole bunch of times and wasted a lot of my life and got really frustrated and never picked up the game again. So I have a copy of Ninja Gaiden that I just, I died on. So play whatever level of difficulty makes you have fun. The only game you truly love playing is Borderlands 1, 2, 3 pre-sequel and Tales from the Borderlands. I think when I got my PS5, I played Borderlands, whatever one is available in their Play Store. I think it's just Borderlands. And I was enjoying myself, but I don't have the PlayStation Plus store access anymore, and I don't want to pay $160 to download games I'm not going to play. So uh-oh, we've been on an hour and we got to put the puzzle piece in. There we go. We get a notification from TikTok asking if we're still here. I don't know why they do that. I'm assuming it's like bots or people sleeping or something on their streams. Alright. When I initially bought the PS5, I was like, okay, I'm going to, sit around and play video games because I need something to do. And even at the time that I bought it, I did not have the drive or motivation to come down here in the basement and deal with these projects. Laugh at you, you're funny. Did you say something else? Let's see here. Borderlands is as close to Diablo 2 for its weapon roll system, and why it keeps being fun is random weapon loots and better gear. They needed more equipment in 3, and teaser showed more than we got in Borderlands 3. Aren't they making a Borderlands movie? Did I see something about that? And why, if for anyone who plays Fallout, right? I've heard mixed reviews on the show. Do you like the show? Do you hate the show? Is the show like what the Eye of the World series became, or what Rings of Power became, or what Witcher became? Because I've never... Borderlands sounds like Dune. I want to see Dune. I've heard it's good. But not from people I trust. Oh, that sucks. Eye of the World series adaptation, the Wheel of Time series adaptation by Robert Jordan, right? I was not a fan. I'm still not a fan. Some of it is okay. Some aspects of it are, it is what it is. And I think my reaction to the Wheel of Time series is similar to a lot of people who played the Witcher series and read the books and whatnot and didn't care for the live action on TV, right? But I enjoyed The Witcher, the first 2 seasons of it or whatever. I haven't seen the third. And so I'm wondering, like, is Fallout the same? Like, if I don't know anything about it, will I enjoy it? Dune is neat, but it's not the story from before. It's set in the future, and many don't realize that. Wasn't the... What do you mean it's not the story from before? Like the original Dune movie with Sting and a Speedo and that weird-looking dude? How do people not realize it's set in the future? Anyway, I've never played any Fallout game. Is the TV show good as a standalone, or is it wildly off from its original content? Huh, okay. You played a little of 76 with your brother but never learned how to do anything, so that's why you're an NG4. I don't know what that means. All right. Oh. My kid wants to go and watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon. I've been reliably informed it's a cartoon by people who know, and then I've been reliably informed that it's anime. Playing Fallout 4, you hit the character limit. Okay. So I don't know, but my kid wants to watch the cartoon version, and then I'm sure we'll start the live action series that's going on. We'll see. We'll see what we're doing. We'll see what we're up to this weekend. I may have to take this project upstairs. We'll see. But there are, if you've never read the Robert Jordan books, the Wheel of Time series, there are serious deviations from the source material. And I'm not, like, I was not going to watch it at all. I didn't watch I watched, what did I watch? I might have watched the whole first season and then swore it off. And I never watched the second season. But eventually I was bored and I was like, I don't care to watch anything that I see on any of the streaming services. Oh, excuse me. Oh, and so I started the second season of the Wheel of Time. And I was like, all right, it's, as a standalone, it's okay, right? Like, it's entertaining to watch. There are some parts of the story from Robert Jordan, from the source material, and I can relate to that. So I'll just ignore all the stuff that doesn't... I'll just ignore all the stuff that I'm like, oh my god, why did they do that, right? And I will just sit and watch it. And it was okay. Cartoon Nickelodeon production of 4 books is amazing. The live action is as bad as the movie was, and it's just not the same. I don't expect it to be. Legend of Korra is okay. I've seen some of that. I haven't seen all of it. And Uncle Iroh is the best character. That is correct. It's like, I've seen The Last Airbender before. I watched it over and over and over again with my kid. It was a cartoon. He was enjoying himself. I was working. I wasn't really paying attention to what he was watching. And then he had probably watched the series a dozen times by the time I had finally paid attention enough to be like, oh, okay, what is going on here? And that was several years ago when we sat down and watched it all. But he wants to watch it again with me, so there is no war in Ba Sing Se. Almost done here. Then we can connect it. It'll be an hour and a half for one ring. Yesterday, it was 2 hours. Two hours. It was so slow going. That's fine. Dang it, I did it again. I can't afford to six too many rings. Sixing is when you are trying to like line up the ends of the ring and then you push one end in below the other one too far. All right. Okay. So I've got my commission done. Need to notify the individual receiving it. And tomorrow, my goal, get the saddlebag, work on the saddlebag, finish that up. It's the smallest project that I have going on right now, and it's in the way. I need to get it done and get it back out on the bike in the garage. So that's my goal for tomorrow and this weekend, is just to sit down here and listen to music and finish the saddlebag. Live action Avatar series, they are not making Toph blind. Major change. That's, yeah, okay, so we were talking about deviations from source material. It's things like that in the Wheel of Time that drive me up a wall. Right? Like, they'll just change some important part of a character. And it's like, no. There's no, I don't know. Maybe there is a reason to do it, and I don't know why, but to not make Toph blind in a live-action remake, okay. But that, like, was her shtick. So whatever, who am I? It's like, that's right. We'll make this and we'll make these changes and it'll be crap and you're going to like it anyway and you're going to watch it. You know you will. Filthy peasant. I bet that's how they talk, whoever these TV makers are. We'll ruin everything you love and you're still going to watch it. The only, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV, so oh, excuse me. I don't ever know what's going on in the realm of TV or anything. No, that's not done. I need to put a ring here. There we go. I got about 30 minutes into the Rings of Power episode before I turned it off. What? But things that I don't have a reference point for, like The Witcher, I thought those were great. And then I heard other people's criticisms about it, and I was like, yeah, no, I completely get your complaints, especially when I saw the decisions that they made for the Wheel of Time series. I was like, oh, okay. They're upset because of all this has changed and blah, blah, blah. I get it. Alright, let's get this all connected and finish this ring up. That'll be 32 rings completed and only 63 to go. Just move this whole thing over in front of me. How's it look on screen? It still looks like a dumpy blob thing. I mentioned in the beginning, might try to figure out what size ball bearing would fit in the pockets of this cube. Or might take all the rings apart and remove one unit, and that'll definitely tighten it up a little bit. But I gotta build more onto this cube to figure out if it's going to hold its shape or not. Because if it doesn't, then I have an issue. But if it does, then whatever. It'll look good. Okay. Now we're about to start weaving upside down and backwards. That's always fun. You've given up on the live action Avatar. Hope Fallout is better, but you bet they will underuse the ARM device. It's 90% of the advantage of a Vault Dweller. It's like a a character who is armed with a sword not using his sword when he's in a fight. Ah. Okay, that's in. Let's get this difficult part out of the way. Oh, of course. Why would that ring have a smooth closure? So the ring's on the inside core full Persian portion of the sandworm weave. I try to make sure that they're smooth, but no one's gonna feel the closures on those. But the outside, the box on the outside, it's got to be smooth-ish. These are machine cut rings, so you can see the opening and everything, but like the whole point is to make it as nice as possible. You hate not knowing if fall damage is real in your game? Yeah. Is fall damage real? I don't know. Is friendly fire on? Let's find out. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Okay. This is, oh, I didn't check that. Make sure this is somewhat smooth. Always quick save first. There you go. All right, those are kind of done. Oh man, I've been doing this most of the day, and I am mostly sore. Have I ever done one of those grip strength things that measures it? No, I never have. See, okay. I have a theory about this. I don't think that it takes a lot of grip strength to do this. It'll definitely improve your grip strength a little bit. But if I were to go and get one of those grip strength testers, I don't think that it would be very high. And the reason I think that is 'cause especially right now, like after weaving all day, my grip does not feel all that strong at this point, right? So tomorrow, like, I might have a little bit more flex to it, just from resting. But yeah, like it feels like I'm barely squeezing this. So, and I have really tiny girly wrists. I have a brace on this one. I have tiny wrists. Can you see my wrists? Moron. The earrings are not new. And yeah, I have the earrings in 99% of the time. You probably couldn't see them because I had that huge beard that I'm gonna grow back, and it covered like most of my body. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I should go get one of those grip strength tester things, because like it's easy to have a strong grip strength when the only person I'm comparing it to is my 9-year-old, you know? It's easy to feel like a tough guy when the only person you're ever picking on is a little kid. So I just feel like maybe the day of working on a lot of chainmail and the day after, like my hands are kind of weak, and I really have to work to make it, you know, to pick up heavy stuff. Like I can feel the weight of this all the way down my arm, right? Whereas on a day where I've rested, I probably wouldn't. But that's not very heavy. And still it's... my wrist is like ready to give out. So... maybe I should look up a grip tester, see how much they are, just to see. And I always mean, like I've got a pile of jewelry right here. I'm supposed to be wearing it to show it off during my streams, but I forget half the time. All right. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm making sure that the closure on this is as smooth as possible, because people are going to be touching these outside rings, and theoretically, I say people are going to be touching this cube at all, right? Hopefully, some point when it's done, it'll be on display somewhere for sale, and people will be like, oh wow, that's really cool, blah blah blah. I want it in my home and I want to pay ridiculous amounts of money for it, right? So you got to make it as nice as possible. It would help if I remembered to check each ring before I wove it. That would make this less time consuming. But I'm kind of slow. Alright. Okay. Alright, I wrote down grip strength checker just for fun. If I can pick one up, If it's like 20 bucks or something, sure. I doubt it's that cheap, but, you know. Less than 100, I'll get it sooner rather than later. More than 100, it's going to have to wait. Got other priorities. But it would be fun to figure out, you know. Oh, especially if I ever have an opportunity to host a bunch of chain mailers. I've thought about doing it before. That was before the lockdowns and everything. So maybe I'll think about doing that again. And we'll just pass around the grip strength tester and check everyone's grip strength. That'd be fun. Harbor Freight needs one, or Harbor Freight has one. Get one and send it around to other mail and leather workers. Yeah. Yeah, I want to say there's like 15 chainmail artists in my area. I don't remember off the top of my head. But like within an hour, hour and a half of me. Alright, one more. Got to make sure you don't miss a ring. Usually once you get accustomed to a weave, you can spot where a ring is missing really easily. So, to the untrained eye, they might never notice. But if this were on display and there was a ring missing and another chainmail artist came along, they'd be like, oh, there's a ring missing. So make sure you put all your rings in. Okay. Look at that big, beautiful thing. That's kind of, you can kind of see it. Like there's slack, but it's not, I don't know. How much tighter does this get? If I start pulling. Alright, we'll see. We might not need to add any ball bearings or anything. Alright, what do you guys think? I think it's cool looking. But you guys up here. Here, we'll do this. Ow, that hurt my shoulder and my neck. I need to use my left arm. That's coming along. Right? 32 rings. I need 2 more to finish this stack before I can start expanding it out. So, all right. Okay, everyone. It is 10 o'clock. And I have a few more things I gotta do before I go to bed. So, with the potential TikTok ban, please go to my socials and follow me on all my channels. They're in the link tree in my bio. I don't know what's going to happen with that. We'll see what the future holds, but I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, and they're all linked in the link tree. I hope this doesn't go away because this is, excuse me, this has been the platform that I've grown the most on and been exposed to the most amount of people. So I want to keep that going. This is where I've introduced more people to chainmail than anywhere else, and that's like the whole point of this, right? What else? If you are interested in learning how to make stuff out of chainmail, please go to the link tree in my bio and download the Mailworks app. There's still a couple of wonky icons on there, but everything works. You've got lists of suppliers, lists of where to find tutorials, where to find other chainmail artists, and a bunch of other tools. It's free. There is a link to my store there where I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. Excuse me. And when you buy from my store, you help fund cool projects like giant Ringception Meta Cubes. So, and I want to keep those going. So please go to the store, pick yourself out something nice. Excuse me. I've got a couple more t-shirt designs coming, and then I will make myself stop what I'm doing and get some computer days in where I do design work and come up with some new 3D chainmail designs for hooded blankets and hoodies and leggings and sports bras and stuff like that. So please go check that out. Otherwise, you all have a wonderful evening. I will be back on normally 8:30 to 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And, come hang out, say hi.